All right, episode 23. I'm changing the time of the stream now. Sort of trying to figure out my rhythm with it as work and life things shift. And started promoting in Berlin. Something in my gut tells me that the Berliners may know the hell I'm talking about. But I don't know what I'm talking about exactly, right? I'm just talking, exploring, showing, demonstrating, moving. So I woke up, as I often do, with a certain tightness in my low back, like basically like SI joints, L3, L4, L5. I'm so into this Tosh Sultana song. I kind of want to hear it. Man. But I didn't bring my computer. So I took a really great movement class last week, the end of last week. I was going to start streaming in the morning, and I wanted to go check out this class. And it's based on the work of Thomas Hanna, and I'm going to interview the teacher, I think, soon, which is, Hanna was a Feldenkrais follower. And so it was very like Feldenkrais-y, moving, simple movements, feeling the movements, noticing the changes as you sort of feel the movements, noticing that the body is plastic. And then I got on my bike after that, and my bike riding felt different because the way that like my kidneys and stuff were able to shift, like my inner organs, and just the way I was generating power. Maybe I'll do that. That feels kind of good. So I'm just kind of swinging my pelvic halves forward and back, and I'm sitting on them. And I can do this, and I can keep the low back tight, like around the sacrum tight, or I can start to release that, which kind of distributes my weight more fully down through my feet and ankles. Then I feel more pressure on the bottom ground level of my feet and ankles. And as often happens in this position, my mind starts to be like, Jonathan, you're hurting yourself, or my body starts to be like, I'm trying to get away from body and mind language, right? But I start to feel the like stress increase, like, Jonathan, you're gonna hurt yourself. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I've sat like this for a while before. It's fine. It's just pressure in different ways. So I'm gonna sit with that for a second and just feel my ankles, feel the pressure and the way they're being pressed, turning a little bit. They're kind of coming in this way a little bit, and then the foot is kind of like, feel that. Bonnie says that support precedes movement. Support precedes movement. And the low back, the imagery is support. I wonder if oh yeah, I'm gonna get that. Like when the metaphysical people talk about the low back, they're often talking about ideas of support. You know, when you look at like chakras and stuff. Oh man. This is Louise Hay, Heal Your Body. And she's got these affirmations and like belief patterns that she compiled working with AIDS patients in the 80s. She just did these emotional, like metaphysical workshops, and then she compiled a little blue book, and this little blue book launched her publishing company, which became like the go-to metaphysical publishing company. They publish all, pretty much like all the authors that are kind of woo, they publish them. So she got this really cool chart. Glance at it. You can find it online. You should buy this book. They don't all have the spine chart in back. There's different versions, so you gotta, this is the one if you want the spine chart. There are others, but I know this one has it. Okay, so let's look at, because this really feels like it's originating in the sacrum. Or she doesn't break down the sacral vertebrae. Maybe I'll go through and do that one day in my own feeling. But yeah, she really doesn't say much about the sacrum, actually. That's super interesting. Normally, let's see what she's got for the actual affirmation. Loss of power, old stubborn anger. So she says sacrum problems arise from that. Loss of power, old stubborn anger, from these feelings in her body, right? I think a lot of people consider this book to be pretty woo, but I mean, like literally this little book she like started handing out in churches. Like, it was like a pamphlet more than a book. It was like The Rock. It was like the only thing she really wrote. She wrote a book about how to like apply this work, and then she wrote like some other like stuff, but not really much. It was basically just this book, and it launched everything she did. She just died. But it makes total sense if you start to think of the physical body as a metaphor for like what's going on in the mind. There was a quote by Morihei Ueshiba. Right, so you notice like I'm talking and I'm working through my back. Like I cross my legs, so it's creating like a little bit more of a different sort of wider dynamic in the low back. And I'm just focusing on relaxing my sit bones and feeling now my sacrum and tail. And they feel like free. And as I said, sacrum, I started to lose some freedom feeling in the SI joint, so I'm going to keep watching that. But this book, if you begin to think of the body as having some sort of inherent sense in the way it processes emotions, even if you think that's cultural, I think really if you have most people really like look at it, most people wouldn't argue with that, but most people wouldn't. I shouldn't talk about other people, right? Someone pointed this out to me. It's like, what does that even mean? But in the past, I was very surprised to realize that these like emotions and feelings were connected with the way I was using my body in different ways, and it seemed to be like structured in ways that were archetypal. And that's what's really cool about this book. I think like this could be one day like almost a guidebook for the neuroscientists, like that like we're nowhere near this. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the work she's doing and compare it to science, they're like moving in a place where they could begin to talk about something like this, but it's a ways. Like it's still, you know, it's still a ways. But it makes a lot of sense, and this book's really powerful. So she gives an affirmation for the sacrum, and it's, I am the power and authority in my life. I release the past and claim my good now. I was reading another book last night about affirmations, and I generally don't like affirmations, or I haven't in the past, rather, because they feel so like silly. Like, oh, I'm just saying like, I am powerful. Like, oh, I don't feel powerful. Like, I am powerful. Like, but there is something to it, and there's a way to use them. And so much of the ideokinetic lineages are very similar to this affirmation thing. Not that they have these like movement educators using this like way to shift thought patterns. They haven't necessarily like focused on like the positive self-growth kind of affirmations, but the way I see them using the mind is very similar. In this other book called Effortless Mastery, I kind of stopped reading because he got into affirmations and I kind of got annoyed, but he's talking all about this ability to like open ourselves up and channel. And he's talking about Bill Evans and um, Vladimir Horowitz, I think is his name. So I've been watching these pianists and their hands and the softness with which they just, they move, they channel. It's just this freedom in the hands. And he talks about replacing these old negative thought patterns. And it's exactly what Louise Hay talks about. And he talks about it for expression, and she talks about it for health and wellness. So with that being said, weakness. I give my mind a joyous vacation. That sounds nice. Give my mind a joyous vacation. I wish she broke these down. But okay, so sacrum, I'm going to try to use this now. Use this, right? I'm going to talk about what I kind of do when I do this. So the words she's offering are, I am the power and authority in my life. I release the past and claim my good now. So the first thing that happens for me when I read those books, or those words, is that a part of me is like, yeah, affirmation. Like a very real part of me is like, this is dumb. So there's definitely like a resistance towards it. So this is the part where I've been reading this little blue book for years, and I don't know, I should go back and read her instruction book called You Can Heal Your Life. It's got the blue book in the back. But this is the part where I've grown frustrated with affirmations because I feel like people are just, or we, or I am just like trying to like pretend, and it's not real, right? And so for this is the reason why, and as I say this, I'm moving my pelvis around, feeling my sacrum in different ways, because I'm looking for like the feeling of softness, openness, and like actual reception in my body. And I think this goes back to that idea of support precedes movement, this idea of grounding I talk about. So I'm going to feel now my pelvic halves, they're rocking, my sacrum. This feels like a pretty good position at this point for me, that the SI joints, I say that because the SI joints and around the sacrum just, it's kind of like, you know, I'm using an image here and a movement in my hands, but this is a feeling, and I can put words to it, but right now I'm just going to do this. Good, and I'm feeling the sacrum begin to actually like change a little bit. It doesn't feel like it's doing this. It feels like it's doing this, or at least the muscles, ligaments on the sides of it. And there's a big old fat like twisted ligament inside it. It's like real short. You think about that ligament as having integrity, right? And surrounding the joints, you've got ligaments on the front of the SI, the back of the SI, and they're all just around, right? Ligaments, like it's not, there are no ligaments. That's the anatomist's lie, right? But there is a system of like fascia and soft tissue that creates ligaments and, or is composed of, or ligaments are composed of the fascial system, maybe is actually more accurate. But muscles and fascia and ligaments and tendons and all these things, they're not really separate, right? It's all this system. And I'm doing this thinking of the images of Gil Hedley and that sliding fascial systems and how freely I can see them slide in the video, how like frictionless they are in some sense. Like that is their very design. So now, good. So I'm beginning to see the three-dimensionality, meaning the depth, anterior to posterior of the sacrum now in my mind. And I'm starting to really feel its dimensions more. Not getting the tailbone quite yet. I laid in bed last night and felt my tailbone for a while, and it just like, it's like twisted a little bit. And I can feel it, and I felt it like as I just relaxed into it, I could feel my body like correcting it a little bit. It's really intense. So now I feel like the back of the pelvis is really relaxing, and you see my movement is getting a little more pronounced now. And I can tell I'm doing really what I'm going for right now, because I'm not push. Maybe you can see the difference. This is push. And the musculature is really like gripping. But if I release that, it gets more into this rocking feel where the muscles are like swinging and relaxing, and the bones are also swinging and relaxing, right? The joint is free to move. And right, so I'm opening up literally a physically receptive feeling in my body. And now I'm going to try this affirmation with like this sort of open feeling, right? Because the first time I tried it was like, You got to notice, if you're going to use affirmations, you got to notice the effects they're having in your body. Because that's what you're doing. You're creating an effect, a feeling effect. So if your whole body is like, if you offer it like a seed or a droplet into this lake of experience where it's going to ripple, right? If your whole body's like, no, like that's a message, right? It's not that affirmations don't work, and it's not that there's anything wrong per se. It's just like that's your body is not, and your mind is not yet able to like incorporate a thought. So that's why I'm going through this process. And even as I talk about it now I'm getting a deeper sense in my whole pelvis. So I'm feeling seeing the pubic bone. I was talking about that the other day, how the legs connect at the pubic bone and not in the back, like in terms of bony structure, like your legs. And it's an image I've been working with, and it's a place that's often quite kind of hazy or invisible in my own body image, in my mind. So sacrum, I am the power and authority in my life. I release the past and claim my good now. I am the power and authority in my life. I release the past and claim my good now. I am the power and authority in my life. So I start picturing my acetabulum and the femur sockets, genitals, pelvic floor, piriformis. He said genitals. See, everyone's going to Twitch, man. Embody space. Let's turn it into a streaming site. I'm gonna put my mission up. I am the power and authority in my life. Support precedes movement. Feeling the earth. God, I wish I had the Bhagavad Gita right now. Support precedes movement. Feeling my tibia, my fibulas. My kneecap, my femur, from distal to proximal. Acetabulum, sit bones, pubic bone, pubic rami, SI joint, iliac crest, iliacus. Can't get to the psoas, interesting. interesting. I wonder, I don't think she has psoas in here. No. I'll just try a random one. Heart represents the center of love and security. My heart beats to the rhythm of love. Joy, joy, joy. I lovingly allow joy to flow through my mind and body and experience. That was for heart problems. I lovingly allow joy to flow through my experience. I lovingly allow joy to flow through my experience. I am the power and authority in my life. I'm seeing my full spine now, my mind, pelvis, rising up to skull. I lovingly allow joy to travel through my life, through my experience. Starting to see the ribs, starting to. That image is not super clear. Shoulders, arms, wrists and hands. And now I feel like a little kind of tightness. I'm kind of changing. I was feeling the pelvic floor, and then like the sacrum felt like it started to kind of grip, and like just really subtly kind of this way. And then I sort of, now my left side feels like it's starting to grip up around like L3, and it's like adding this twist, really subtle inside my body. And so I'm gonna keep trying these affirmations. Like I'm watching this as a process, right? I'm like drop, doom, doom, drop, doom, 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 drop, drop, doom, 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 doom. I lovingly allow joy to enter into my experience, to become my experience. Joy, joy, joy. That's what she said. I am the power and authority in my life. Right? That was the sacral affirmation. And I'm feeling there's like on the left side, it's like this, I just feel the SI sort of come into focus, and it's kind of got a little, it's kind of like on the left. So I'm just going to feel that. I lovingly allow joy to travel through my experience. I'm the power and authority in my life. And I'm going to feel the pubic bone now as the thing that's supporting, in some sense, the space of the SI in the back, right? Because the bones, like if the pubic bone, if I don't have consciousness in the pubic bone and an awareness of this pressing that happens here, then of course this is going to get imbalanced in the back, right? It's one bone, it's forming this ring of the pelvis. So a lot of times for me, if I'm feeling something that's like impinged or having a moment, I'll look to like, well, okay, what is supporting that? Once again, support precedes movement. So I'm going to focus on the pubic bone, pubic symphysis, the joining of the two pubic bones, really. And they've got like a little softer tissue in there right between the bone. Remember, everything is fluid. Like even the bones are fluid. The bones are changing based on how you need them, how you use them. Okay, so I'm feeling the pubic bone and the sit bones. SI is starting to feel more balanced. I'm the power and authority in my life. Power and authority in my life. I'm the power and authority in my life. I don't have my chat today, but no one's been chatting. I don't have enough viewers to get really chat yet, so that's okay. I'm the power and authority in my life. authority in my life. Now I'm just like really trying to relax into the sacrum, feel it like melting down. And imagine my tail extending back and out, feeling that little twist in the tail. Just like noticing it and allowing the sort of openness to continue to envelop that twist, because there's a part of that twist in that tailbone that I'm like, oh, I don't want that to be there, right? And if I keep that mental pattern, I will keep tensing the muscles around it. Alternatively, the very strange paradoxical thing that can happen is if I release into that feeling, then the muscles actually sort of start to reveal a mind of their own. And that can be very like kind of intense and scary, but I do feel like the body actually has everything it needs to realign and heal itself. But we basically stop it from happening for various reasons, right? That this is where all this questions of like trauma and trance and like focus on a moment and underlying movement, all these ideas start to come together in this fuller picture of how we inhabit, how we embody. So what I have found is there's no way to rush this stuff, that we have to find a certain peace. And this is what this author talks about in Effortless Mastery, that we have to find a peace in our practice, that we have to learn to really practice one thing really, really well. That most of the time we're practicing things fairly mediocrely. That if we just practice less and really got in touch with the feeling of wanting to learn something, he's like, practice 10 minutes a day, but do it well. Like really enjoy it, really sink into it. What is it to just press the key on the piano, right? And I often feel like Eric's got that story in one of his books where I talked about it, and I think I couldn't find it, but I swear it's in that book that I have on my shelf, but I don't know where in that book. But Eric Franklin talks about this moment when his back really released, and he'd been practicing this ideokinesis, this imagery stuff for a long time, and it just like happened. And it very much seems like that was the story of when he made the connection of how to really, really connect the cognitive imagery with the feeling of the body. And that was his breakthrough moment, it seems like to me. I'm not sure I've ever really fully hit that breakthrough moment. I'm not sure I've ever hit that breakthrough moment. And so I always ask myself, like, am I not practicing the fundamentals like well enough or deeply enough? So it's interesting, like beginnings in my back, and I'm looking back at Louise Hay, I've been reading, like I say, for years. I'm still just rocking that sacrum. Like now I actually have an image of it being like in a cradle, and I'm rocking the sacrum. Like sacrum, you can trust this. Like I trust this. Like me as sacrum, I trust, I trust, I trust. I trust, I feel my support. I trust and am supported. I trust and am supported. I allow for joy. I lovingly allow for joy in my experience. I am the power and authority in my life. I'm going to do, that's sacrum, I'm going to do like these L5, L1 stuff. L5 to L1. Actually, I'll do coccyx too. I bring my life into balance by loving myself. I live in today and love who I am. That's cool. Coccyx. So I just said my coccyx has a little twist. Out of balance with yourself, this is the issue. Holding on, blame of self, sitting on old pain. Yeah, like definitely that feeling of like holding on, like the pelvic floor grips, and it feels like that's what twists the things around, right? That's what it feels like to me. And then in letting go, it often feels like more pulling, but it lets into this feeling of the underlying movement and like the intelligence. And so that's the question for me right now, is how do I release more into that and let the body realign itself? Because I imagine it should be able to do that perfectly, if my mind is also ready to go into those places. So coccyx, out of balance with yourself, holding on, blame of self, sitting on old pain. I bring my life into balance by loving myself. I live in today and love who I am. And that this just feels like the sword of Damocles, like my coccyx just hanging. So I feel my sit bones, I feel my coccyx, and it's not on the ground, right? It's like hanging. I bring my life into balance by loving myself. I bring my life into balance by loving myself. I live in today and love who I am. Sacrum, I am the power and authority in my life. I release the past and claim my good now. I am the power and authority in my life. I release the past and claim my good now. L5, I deserve to enjoy life. I ask for what I want, and I accept with joy and pleasure. L5, I deserve to enjoy life. I deserve to enjoy life. I ask for what I want, and I accept with joy and pleasure. L4, I love who I am. I am grounded in my own power. I am secure on all levels. And that feels like this is having a significant effect in my low back right now. Like it's just things are changing. It's feeling wider. I'm feeling like the awareness really go towards L4, L5 disc really. I love who I am. I am grounded in my own power. I am secure on all levels. I love who I am. I am grounded in my own power. I love who I am. I am grounded in my own power. I am secure on all levels. L3, I release the past. I cherish myself and my beautiful sexuality. I am safe. I am loved. I release the past. I release the past. I cherish myself and my beautiful sexuality. I release the past. Finding that awareness of L3. Let's go back to L4. I love who I am. I am grounded in my own power. I am secure on all levels. L3, I release the past. I cherish myself and my beautiful sexuality. I am safe. I am loved. Excuse me. L3, I release the past. I cherish myself and my beautiful sexuality. I am safe. I am loved. L2, I grow beyond my parents' limitations and live for myself. It is my turn now. L2, I grow beyond my parents' limitations and live for myself. I grow beyond my parents' limitations and live for myself. I don't often bring a lot of awareness to L2. Interesting. I grow beyond my parents' limitations and live for myself. It is my turn now. It is my turn now. L1, I am safe in the universe, and all life loves me and supports me. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. I'm going to keep going. 212. I choose to circulate the joys of life. I am willing to nourish myself. That's an interesting one for T12. I choose to circulate the joys of my life. I'm willing to nourish myself. That's good. I think I need to be more willing to nourish myself. I'm willing to nourish myself. I'm willing to nourish myself. I'm willing to nourish myself. Now the rib, right? This is the first rib on the bottom. I choose to circulate the joys of life. I'm willing to nourish myself. T11. I see myself as beautiful and lovable and appreciated. I am proud to be me. Ooh, proud to be me. That's a hard one, I think, for me. Am I proud to be me? Sometimes. Sometimes. Let's do that again. T11. I see myself as beautiful and lovable and appreciated. I see myself as beautiful and lovable and appreciated. I'm proud to be me. I see myself as beautiful and lovable and appreciated. I'm proud to be me. T12. I choose to circulate the joys of life. I'm willing to nourish myself. Ooh, I feel like I start to kind of tense up a little below. I choose to circulate the joys of life. I'm willing to nourish myself. T11. I see myself as beautiful and lovable and appreciated. I'm proud to be me. T10. I open myself to joy and love, which I give freely and receive freely. I open myself to joy and love, which I give freely and receive freely. I open myself to joy and love, which I give freely and receive freely. T9. I claim my own power. T9. I claim my own power. I lovingly create my own reality. I claim my own power. I lovingly create my own reality. I'm really trying to feel now into like T10, T9. T8, I am open and receptive to all good. The universe loves me and supports me. T8, I am open and receptive to all good. I am open and receptive to all good. The universe loves and supports me. T7, I willingly let go. I allow sweetness to fill my life. She says it's storing pain and refusal to enjoy. T7 problems. I willingly let go. I allow sweetness to fill my life. I willingly let go. I allow sweetness to fill my life. I willingly let go. I allow sweetness to fill my life. Let go. I allow sweetness to fill my life. Let go. I allow sweetness to fill my life. Let go. I allow sweetness to fill my life. I willingly let go. I allow sweetness to fill my life. T6. I trust life to unfold before me in positive ways. It is safe to love myself. I trust life to unfold before me in positive ways. It is safe to love myself. It is safe to love myself. I trust life to unfold before me in positive ways. It is safe to love myself. T5. I let life flow through me. I am willing to live. I let life flow through me. T5. Wow. I let life flow through me. I am willing to live. All is well. I let life flow through me. I am willing to live. All is well. Ooh, T5. Oh my. I let life flow through me. I am willing to live. All is well. T4. I give myself the gift of forgiveness and we are both free. I give myself the gift of forgiveness. We are both free. I give myself the gift of forgiveness and we are both free. T3. I forgive everyone. I forgive myself. I nourish myself. So this is inner chaos, deep old hurts, inability to communicate. I forgive everyone. I like that. I forgive everyone. I forgive everyone. I forgive everyone. Oh, dude. I forgive everyone. I nourish myself. I forgive myself. I forgive everyone. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I nourish myself. T12 was nourishing, right? Yeah. I'm willing to nourish myself, T12. I nourish myself, T3. Interesting, right? Feeling that relationship. T12 and T3 is something I don't think about a lot, is that relationship. T12 and T3. T2, my heart forgives and releases. It is safe to love myself. Inner peace is my goal. My heart forgives and releases. It is safe to love myself. Inner peace is my goal. My heart forgives and releases. It is safe to love myself. Inner peace is my goal. T1, I accept life and take it in easily. All good is mine now. I accept life, take it in easily. All good is mine now. I accept life and take it in easily. All good is mine now. I accept life and take it in easily. All good is mine now. I accept life and take it in easily. All good is mine now. C7, confusion, anger, feeling helpless, can't reach out. I have a right to be me. I forgive the past. I know who I am. I touch others with love. I have a right to be me. I forgive the past. I know who I am. I touch others with love. I have a right to be me. I forgive the past. I know who I am. I touch others with love. C6. I lovingly release others to their own lessons. I lovingly care for myself. I move with ease through life. I lovingly release others to their own lessons. I lovingly care for myself. I move with ease through life. I lovingly release others to their own lessons. I lovingly care for myself. I move with ease through life. I move with ease through life. I lovingly release others to their own lessons. I lovingly care for myself. I move with ease through life. 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 C5. My communication is clear. I accept my good. I let go of all expectations. I am loved and I am safe. My communication is clear. I accept my good. My communication is clear. I accept my good. My communication is clear. I accept my good. I let go of all expectations. I let go of all expectations. I let go of all expectations. I am loved and I am safe. I let go of all expectations. I am loved and I am safe. I let go of all expectations. I am loved and I am safe. C4, I am clear in my communication with life. I am free to enjoy life right now. I am clear in my communication with life. I am free to enjoy life right now. I am clear in my communication with life. I am free to enjoy life right now. C3, I am responsible only for myself and I rejoice in who I am. I can handle all that I create. I am responsible only for myself and I am responsible only for myself and I rejoice in who I am. Rejoice, jeez. C3, I'm responsible for myself and I rejoice in who I am. I can handle all that I create. I can handle all that I create. I am responsible only for myself, and I rejoice in who I am. I can handle all that I create. C2. I am one with the universe and all of life. It is safe for me to know and to grow. I am one with the universe and all of life. It is safe for me to know and to grow. That's a great one. I am one with the universe and all of life. It is safe for me to know and to grow. I am one with the universe and all of life. It is safe for me to know and to grow. I am one with the universe and all of life. It is safe for me to know and to grow. I am one with the universe and all of life. It is safe for me to know and to grow. C1. Fear, confusion, running from life, feeling not good enough. What will the neighbors say? Endless inner chatter. I am centered and calm and balanced. The universe approves of me. I trust my higher self. All is well. I am centered and calm and balanced. The universe approves of me. I trust my higher self. All is well. I am centered and calm and balanced. I am centered and calm and balanced. I am centered and calm and balanced. I'm centered and calm and balanced. Going back to Gil Hedley's images, fascia, softness, fluid motion, differentiated movement, even through the soft tissue structures, through multiple, practically infinite layers of soft tissue structure. The movement is differentiated. Right? Feeling my whole spine now. It's really cool. Feels very much like Kundalini yoga. I feel like we've done this in Kundalini yoga. I've only been there a few times, but this is one of those things I sit there and do. My ankle's starting to hurt. Oh man, do I have a book? PDF of it somewhere on my phone, of course. Let's see, my computer has it. So I'm feeling my spine, and now I'm going to shift this into a meditation that is basically my energy field, like my thing, the ways I affect space just by being in it, relating to all of space, like so the world, right? And asking the consciousness of that space around me, of the things and the beings in it, all that, to essentially meet me, to prepare a path, to bring me the things I need for the day, things I need to be safe and comfortable and joyous and happy and nourished. Right? And beyond like the idea of this like woo thing, you just think about ideas like this as embodied, right? Like it's an idea, and it's like, how does it feel in your body? And then I'm going to focus on that feeling. And the thing is that tends to happen is as we focus on that feeling, we start to believe it. Like, not like believe it in a cognitive sense, but our body starts to respond to it and believe it in that sense. We start to embody the thought. And that changes the way that we affect space. If I walk into a room feeling powerful, all my interactions will be different than if I walk in that room feeling weak and undermined within myself. We all know that, right? But sometimes to take it beyond and so these other ways can seem like a bit much. But I'm literally now thinking, okay, may the world meet me with love and support. May I meet the world with love and support, right? May my path be prepared for me. May the space help me move into and through and with the interactions of all the different people and beings and things that I will do in the day. A lot of Louise Hay's affirmations are about being loved, being safe, being allowed to be where we are, right? That's really kind of what it is. I am the cool, calm expression of peace and love. That's Hebrew. Food poisoning. I have the strength, power, and skill to digest whatever comes my way. I got a bad hot dog a couple months back. Kidney stones. I dissolve all past problems with ease, right? I'm flexible and flowing. Knee. Love and peace and joy are what I know. Liver. Right? So it's like about, very much I'd say her work is about claiming our sort of embodied space, the feeling sense of ourselves, claiming like in the sense of being safe and having say over it. And I think a lot of us feel opposite, like we have no say, like the world is just, kind of imposed upon us. I think that's a common thought pattern. So what if I were in intimate relationship with the space around me, and where does that end, right? Now I'm broadcasting, like where does that end? So I'm going to think of even now calling to the space around me to bring me the things that I need and will support me. And then I'm going to think about my body accepting and being able to receive those things I have called. I was just thinking of this girl, man. I went to this salsa congress really late one night in Manhattan, and I went to the bachata room, and there was this girl who was just like on fire, you know, like she was like one of the hottest things in the room, and I was just like, oh. I didn't ask her to dance though. Probably could have. It probably would have been a really good dance. But I didn't know the culture or the rules or like the kinesthetic rules, like all that stuff. I'm always loath to kind of jump into something when I just like don't really know how it works. But maybe I can, I mean, that's an interesting image that comes up, right? That like, in some sense, I ended up at that late night dance. They were all partying, and there was basically one person I wanted to dance with in that room. Why couldn't I like receive that, right? In some sense. So receiving the gifts, the space around me, feeling supported, feeling loved within myself by those around me. Calling to the intelligence of the universe to prepare the path, calling to the intelligence within me to respond and to prepare its own path, or that path as well. Call my own inner intelligence. Imagine that, like what does that feel like? Calling to my own inner intelligence. Right? To look out through my eyes and to understand that I am a part of this organism, right? A bigger organism. I am like a cell in a system. And I see, in some sense, with the eyes of the whole, right? It's true in some sense. It's also an image in some sense, but just like a thought pattern. Notice how it affects me. Feeling into that sacrum again now. Feeling that this little flow thing I'm kind of looking for is connected and coming from and through the sacrum. Feeling the tailbone. All of life loves and supports me. All of life loves and supports me. I'm strong and powerful, and I trust my own self. I love and receive the gifts of the world around me. I love and receive my own gifts and offer my own gifts. Oftentimes I feel sort of like isolated in my own space, so I'm looking for affirmation or thought patterns that will shift my kinesthetic sense of how I relate to my own space. That's what I'm kind of searching right now, playing with. My space supports me. Feel air pressure, my relation to it. I am moved, I am connected, I am powerful, I am flowing, I am fluid. The world receives and supports me. I receive my own inner wisdom and am supported by it. I observe my own intelligence. I'm balanced with the world and relate to it with perfect intelligence. I'm balanced with the world. I'm balanced in myself. Relate to myself with perfect intelligence. I'm balanced with myself. Relate to myself with perfect intelligence. I'm balanced with myself and relate to myself with perfect intelligence. I am free to love. I'm feeling the thighs. I'm free to love. I'm free to love. So I have this image of a person in my life who I can't really connect with right now, at least not very well, so I'm like, I feel like a certain tightness in my heart, and I'm feeling and I'm working with this image of being connected to and flowing with, and the universe sort of unfolding and offering me these gifts and me moving into that pathways in time space. And I keep seeing her and feel a tightness and like a gripping, like, but her. Okay, so what is that? How can I work with that relationship in my own body, like in my own mind, in my own self, like right here? What is it? Right? I'm free and I'm safe and I'm supported. The universe approves of me. Free and safe and supported. The universe approves of me. My movements are the most beautiful movements. My movements are beautiful. My movement is beautiful. My movement is beautiful. I love myself. I approve of myself. I love and approve of myself. It is safe to be me. I love and approve of myself. It is safe to be me. I embody my back. I am safe in my back. I feel and respond to the world with ease. I can feel and respond to the world with ease. I am powerful. I am responsive. I am loving. I am communicative. I am intelligent. I am supported. I am grounded. I am here. This is now. This is me. This space, this consciousness, this relationship, this moment. The world receives and supports me. Right? And now I'm starting to feel, and I do this movement, and this is that motion that Bonnie always does. She says, let things come in the back of the brain, the old brain, the reptilian brain. Receive the things in the back and then send them out the front. Don't try to receive in the front, like receiving through the thought, through the cognitive, but receive in the back. That feeling of back, I think, is very ripe for me, very ripe metaphor. My whole back space often feels vulnerable in some ways. So how do I fill out the back? How do I receive the intelligence of the universe, the intelligence of myself through the back, express out the front? I am safe, I am loved, I am vital. My coffee's good. Right, and when I'm thinking about images like this, I like to look at something like my coffee, right? And I think like, how many forces of production went to create this paper cup, right? Like how many people were there to design it, to manufacture it, to ship it, to package it, all these different things. And then the same with the lid, like all these words mean things, like all the people who've put in all this thought and to do this. And then the actual liquid, like the beans where they were grown and harvested and roasted and then steeped in hot water. And then the half and half, right, the cows and what the cows ate and the consciousness of their food, like the grass and the grains and whatever it is they're feeding on, and the people who are raising them and the structures where those cows are housed and all this stuff, right? All this stuff had to happen for me to get this cup of coffee, the ink of this stamp, right? The design of this stamp. Somebody probably designed that here in Portland and all this stuff, right? It's so simple. It's just a cup of coffee, and yet it's not simple at all. If I really think of the connections, right? Same with the book, the paper and the trees and the design and the men who worked with Louise to like create this work. I think I'll read something. I think I'll read her foreword. This little book does not heal anyone. It does awaken within you the ability to contribute to your own healing process. For us to become whole and healthy, we must balance the body, mind, and spirit. We need to take good care of our bodies. We need to have a positive mental attitude about ourselves and about life. And we need to have a strong spiritual connection. When these three things are balanced, we rejoice in living. No doctor, no health practitioner can give us this unless we choose to take part in our healing process. And then she says more. Right here and right now in our own minds. The point of power is in the present moment, right here and right now in our own minds. It does not matter how long we have had negative patterns or an illness or a rotten relationship or a lack of finances or self-hatred. We can begin to make a change today. The thoughts we have held and the words we have repeatedly used have created our life and our experiences up to this point. Yet that is past thinking. We have already done that. What we are choosing to think and say today, this moment, will create tomorrow and the next day and the next week and the next month and the next year, etc. The point of power is always in the present moment. This is where we begin to make changes. What a liberating idea. We can begin to let the old nonsense go. Right now, the smallest beginning will make a difference. When you were a tiny baby, you were pure joy and love. You knew how important you were. You felt you were the center of the universe. You had such courage. You asked for what you wanted, and you expressed all your feelings openly. You loved yourself totally, every part of your body, including your feces. You knew you were perfect, and that is the truth of your being. All the rest is learned nonsense and can be unlearned. How often have we said, that's the way I am, or that's the way it is? What we are really saying is that it is what we believe to be true for us. Usually what we believe is only someone else's opinion, and we've accepted and incorporated into our own belief system. It fits in with other things we believe. If we were taught as a child that the world is a frightening place, then everything we hear that fits in with that belief we will accept as true for us. Don't trust strangers, don't go out at night, people cheat you, etc. On the other hand, if we were taught early in life that the world is a safe and joyous place, then we would believe other things. Love is everywhere, people are so friendly, money comes to me easily, and so on. Life experiences mirror our beliefs. We seldom sit down and question our beliefs. For instance, I could ask myself, why do I believe it is difficult for me to learn? Is that really true? Is it true for me now? Where did that belief come from? Do I still believe it because a first grade teacher told me over and over? Would I be better off if I dropped that belief? Stop for a moment and catch your thought. What are you thinking right now? If thoughts shape your life and experiences, would you want this thought to become true for you? No. If it is a thought of worry or anger, hurt or revenge, how do you think this thought will come back to you? If we want a joyous life, we must think joyous thoughts. Whatever we send out mentally or verbally will come back to us in like form. Take a little time to listen to the words you say. If you hear yourself saying something 3 times, write it down. It has become a pattern for you. At the end of a week, look at the list you have made and you will see how your words fit your experiences. Be willing to change your words and thoughts and watch your life change. The way to control your life is to control your choice of words and thoughts. No one thinks in your mind but you. So can you begin to allow the thoughts to actually just kind of manifest in your body, as opposed to like, the reason I haven't liked affirmations is because they feel like they're imposing themselves on my body, like my body doesn't really believe them. And can you begin to feel that the thought itself emanates from the body, and that we radiate the very structure of a new pattern? Starting to feel the quality of like almost the fascia or just my entire body shift the way I'm feeling it, which is why I'm not really speaking right now and just staying with that process. I assume things are changing, things are moving. Feeling the fluid structure in my feet. It radiates up my ankles, my lower legs, my upper legs, my pelvis. On the space in between the bones of my lower legs, and my sit bones, pelvic halves, pubic bone. I'm safe and supported. The universe supports me, gives me everything I need. Call forth things that I truly need, the energies, the powers, the influences, the shapes and structures. What is in my highest good? Think about that balance and balanced and centered. And I know what to do with all those energies and influences. I'm grateful for them. I respect them. I love and trust myself. I love and trust myself. I'm grounded and centered. I call to the consciousness around me. Joyfully accept the things I call, the energies I move, the space I inhabit. I receive the very space I inhabit with joy and love and peace. Seems good for today.